Greetings guys from Liverpool. As you can see by that sign behind me, I am at the Stena Line terminal and I'm about to get the ferry from Liverpool to Belfast. When am I going to Belfast, you ask? Well, I'm going to attempt to fly from Belfast and visit all 5 capital cities of the British Isles. Now I know someone's going to make a comment in the comments that there's 4 or there's 8, so please do. But anyway, I'm doing 5. So we're doing 5. We're going to get the overnight boat from Liverpool to Belfast, of course, and we're going to start with the first flight from Belfast. Now the thing is, I've made a lot of videos about this overnight ferry before, and I've been in ordinary cabins, I've been in their deluxe cabin, and now I have booked the overnight without a cabin. Now there's none at the desk, the ship's full, I've checked online. If you look on the screen now, you'll see there's none online. So we're chancing our arm, because I've got 4 flights tomorrow. I've got one hell of a schedule, starting first thing in Belfast, and hopefully Belfast, Cardiff, Dublin, Edinburgh, London. Now basically that's a long day if I'm sleeping rough on a North Sea, an Irish Sea ferry. Are there any cabins left?
There's no cabins available at the minute,
but there might be some in the purser's office.
If you speak to the guest services when you get on, if there's any left from freight, you'll be able to get one, all right?
Right, so guest services on board the ship?
And they'll be able to, well, if there is any available.
Thanks very much. Hi there, where's the customer service desk?
Guest service on deck 7.
Deck 7,
you
thanks.
Get out on deck 7 and on your left, okay?
Cheers, thanks. Hi there. Oh, I should have taken the lift. Have you got any cabins?
At the moment, I'm afraid not, but I'm taking a standby list.
Cool.
Any no-shows. What's your name and I can pop you on?
Chris Jones. How many's on the list already?
You are the first ones on, but it depends on what we've got.
When?
It'll be around when we set sail, so when everyone's on.
So about 10:30.
Yeah.
Come back here.
I will call your name over the tannoy if there is anything available.
All right. Okay.
So
cheers.
How many? Sorry.
Just me. Just one cabin.
No problem.
Thanks very much.
Hello. Yeah, what's the name?
Right. So that's where we are. Yeah, so this. Let me get my breath back and I'll start filming. The wonderful waterfront of Liverpool. So in that direction is sort of Albert Dock. You see the radio tower, the Liver building. And we're going to be heading that way at some point. Right, so, update. Still not got a cabin. But I don't know if I'm going to show you the footage I filmed running on the boat. I'm so out of shape. But basically, I ran out to deck 7. First person in the queue, customer service. I am first on the standby list. So if a cabin becomes available, I'm going to go to bed for the night. If not, I'll show you the spots that I found now, which is the movie lounge, basically. But my secret bed is now not a secret bed. You know that anti-homelessness architecture, where they make benches impossible to sleep on? Well, this one sort of secret bench, full-length bed, not anymore. Look what they've done to it. Anyway, I digress. Europe's about to win the Ryder Cup. I'm getting ready to do 4 flights in a single day. So, I think it's time for a pint, don't you? Anyway, I shall see you, hopefully, in my cabin. If not, I'll see you first thing in the morning, looking bleary-eyed and not bushy-tailed. Right, fingers crossed, guys, there is a standby cabin. So, this could well be my bedroom for the evening. It's very quiet in here. It's dark. Comfortable chairs. So if I don't get a cabin, this is where I'll be, watching Kung Fu Panda 4. Good morning, everybody. We all sleep well? Well, sort of as a matter of fact, I did. In case you haven't worked it out, this is Belfast. And we are very much 25 past 6 in the morning. So there we go. So that was crossing Liverpool to Belfast with a Stena and not booking a cabin. Well, people, here's my top tip of the day. If you want a cabin, book a cabin. Now, I think there's a little bit of a misconception that the cabins are cheaper on board, and so you can save yourself a couple of quid by not booking a cabin. And to actually have the cabin, just go up to the customer service desk. Now that may be true during the daytime. So if you've got a day crossing, and of course it's not the end of the world if you don't get a cabin, by all means chance your arm, because the ship is probably sailing with half its cabins empty. And if half its cabins are empty, that means basic laws of supply and demand, they may sell the cabins cheaper. Now last night I ran up to deck 7, first person in the queue to ask for a cabin. And then I went and sat near the customer service. It was a little cafe. The poor girl was being harassed. And I must say, she was lovely. In fact, all the crew on board last night were lovely. Spoke to the guy in the cafe, brilliant. Guy behind the bar gave me a top tip about data roaming. Switch your phone off by the time you pass the Isle of Man, otherwise the Isle of Man will pick up and start data roaming charges. And the guy in the restaurant at the end where I got some water and a bit of a chocolate biscuit for bedtime. Anyway, I digress. She was getting harassed because so many people were after a cabin. And I was top of the queue. I had a cheese and ham toastie while I waited. And while I waited for my for some time, at about 20 past 10, she made an announcement. There must have been, while I was sat there, 20, 30, 40 people asked for a cabin. Seriously, lots. And she announced 4 names to come up. And I got my cabin. I almost felt guilty. But I don't feel guilty now because I've had about 4 hours sleep. Then I think probably about 6 or 7 people actually got a cabin. So here is the thing. If you're doing a night crossing, don't think I'm going to chance my arm and I'll pick up a cheap cabin on the ship. You won't pick up a cheap cabin. I reckon I could have easily sold my cabin last night. Probably got lynched for it, but I could have probably sold my cabin last night because that many people were after a bed for the night. So there we go. That was a Stena. I think a really good way for me to get to Belfast, because of course now you know what I'm up to now. I'm going to head over to George Best Airport and I'm going to get on a plane, Aer Lingus ATR 72. I'm going to get on a plane and we are going to go to, just checking the microphone was recording. Anyway, we are going to go to Cardiff, and then from Cardiff we're going to fly to Dublin, and then from Dublin we are going to fly to Edinburgh, and from Edinburgh we are going to fly to London. 5 British Isles capitals in one day. Can it be done? ChatGPT says 60 to 80% chance. Well, anyway, there's a link on the screen now to that video, depending when you're watching, because it comes out a week after this video. So depending when you're watching this video, that video could be up. If not, you'll have to wait a week. And while you're waiting, you might as well subscribe to the channel, click the bell, and YouTube will notify when I publish it. Anyway, that's me checking out from Stena Line in Belfast. I think it's time for a cup of tea, don't you?